Good morning, class and professor. Today I will be discussing Starbucks and their social media crisis and how it was handled. Starbucks tweeted to their customers in Argentina apologizing for a temporary supply storage, which meant that they would be using local cups without the Starbucks logo on them. Translated in English, they stated, "We apologize as due to a temporary supply shortage, some shops are using national cups and sleeves. Salutations." So, what would be wrong with that? Well, the apology was not well received. It meant that the cups were not being imported and were instead being made locally. Argentina customers and fans took it as a huge insult and expressed their frustration immediately on Twitter. Within the hour, Argentina customers took to Twitter, making the "We Apologize" hashtag the top trending hashtag on Twitter. The customers felt that Starbucks shouldn't feel the need to apologize for using local products. The Starbucks apology was followed by sarcasm, stating Starbucks will start apologizing for hiring local staff that speak Spanish. And this couldn't come at a worse time because Starbucks was looking and is still looking to Hispanic stores in Latin America, developing and creating over 300 stores by 2015. So, how did Starbucks respond? Well, they responded rather quickly, apologizing on Twitter and then immediately apologizing on Facebook, saying their intent was to apologize for not being able to deliver what its customers expect on a daily basis. They stated, "We apologize for the post this morning. We understand your comments and clarifying that the intention was to tell you that we were using different than the usual supplies temporarily in some stores. This is due to a breakdown of stock by an internal planning error. We are working to continue providing the best for our fans. We like to be transparent with our community and share each of our updates, whether permanent or temporary." There are several lessons that can be learned from the social media crisis. The first one is you can't please everyone, and to be quick to respond, which Starbucks did immediately, which meant that they were looking at using their social media tools and learn and seeing what was being mentioned about them and immediately saw that the Argentinian customers were being insulted and frustrated and expressing it immediately on Twitter and other social media platforms. This can also another lesson is that little firestorms could be created quickly without prior anticipation. I'm pretty sure that Starbucks were not prepared for Argentinian customers to be upset by their attempt and an apology for their brand's lack of better internal management. Another lesson is to communicate with customers and fans on social media using truth, transparency, and timely updates, and that's always the best strategy to take. Social media attacks may arise when least suspected, and it's very important to develop a crisis communication plan. And although the crisis was handled successfully by Starbucks, I still think there were certain things that could have been done a little bit better. The first one is to understand their audience. At the time of the post, Argentina was applying restrictions on imports to boost local products, which signals it was a national issue of concern. Consider the wording carefully. Starbucks could have carefully considered the interpretation of the tweet by rewording the initial post to say, "We apologize due to temporary supply shortage. Some shops are using non-branded and cups and sleeves," which is the same kind of verbiage they used in their full response. But that careful response tweet could have been reworded differently. An organization needs to understand what method of communication with stakeholders is appropriate for different circumstances. Maybe because they were only focused on a narrow base of customers, the Argentina customers, maybe a sign in an actual store would have sufficed rather than a huge tweet. And again, organizations make mistakes, just like everybody, and even experienced organizations like Starbucks. This This is where an apology is needed, and the Starbucks made the right move in explaining their initial post and apologizing. They apologized at the source on Twitter and also made sure they made a huge apology on Facebook. although this was only a full hour later, but they still made the apology and tried to make things right with the customers. Thank you very much.